Welcome to Daddy vs. Doctor. Here are your hosts, pediatrician Dr. Scott Cohen and comedian Sebastian Maniscalco.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Daddy vs. Doctor. Big events here today on the show. We had a caller get into an encounter with the police on the show. What else?
What you gotta do? We have a cake making grandma, and we have a family who has a surrogate and a newborn who wants to talk about bonding.
And we have a caller checking back in with us, giving us an update on what's going on in their house today.
Daddy versus Doctor. Your hair looks great.
Looks gray.
Yeah, it looks great.
Oh, thanks. Don't mind my dog in the background.
Oh,
Yes. That dog's awesome.
so what's going on? What brings you to Daddy vs. Doctor today? What's the question?
So my husband and I are going to be having a baby via surrogate next year. And
Congratulations.
thank you. So we were wondering what your guys' best advice would be for like a sleep schedule or just like for keeping the relationship going.
For the two of you or with the baby?
Well, for us, probably more importantly, once the kid gets here.
So what do you tell expecting parents in regards to the relationship between, the parents? Or do you even give advice on that?
It's interesting. Yeah, I don't get asked a lot about that, but because a lot's going to change, and I don't know that you can plan for every type of moment because there's so many
Right.
unknowns. It's like what we talked about with having a new child. It's trying to control a situation we don't know how to control.
Well, I could give some advice on this. For myself and my wife, looking back, I wish we would have kind of planned out how we are going to discipline the child. We didn't really discuss that.
Yeah.
And then when it came to disciplining, I had a completely different set of rules than she did. So I guess my advice for being a parent only 5.5 years is to discuss a lot of scenarios prior to the kid coming, how you want to educate them, how you want to discipline them. Eating has been another thing. Like, do we give the kid snack? How are we going to feed this child? Are we going to order out? Am I going to cook? Are you going to cook?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't even realize what's on the horizon until it comes. Now, obviously, you can't plan for every scenario, but just having these discussions. What are we going to bring up the kid Catholic or Jewish? That's another, like ironing out these things ahead of time saves you a lot of heartache in the future just because it's not a surprise when the topic comes up because you might have discussed it prior to having the child.
And be open to things changing, right? Things are going to, change over time, and parents can parent differently. Moms and dads can be different, and there's not always one right way. So being open to the suggestions of the other one. A lot of things that happen with the baby early on, feeding tends to be about every 2 to 4 hours around the clock. So there isn't a lot of sleep, and you want to sleep when the baby sleeps, and obviously helping each other out. I think the best thing we did, maybe not initially because there's really no time and all you want to do in your free time is sleep, but don't forget to date each other still,
Yeah.
plan dinners together, spend some quality time together when you're able to, because it keeps your relationship strong, gives you the ability to talk about things so that you're on the same page and you don't feel like passing ships all the time. I think it's very easy just to go through the daily grind and miss each other.
Yeah, I think he's right on that. Myself and my wife have implemented a date night, whether it be once a month or twice a month, whatever, just to have it on the calendar, knowing that we're going to go out. We'll make the arrangements to have the child babysat or what have you, and we'll go out and enjoy a nice evening and reconnect as a couple, so we can then connect with the kid moving forward. So yeah, I mean, I just think a lot of discussion, a lot of transparency prior to the kid arriving would definitely do you some good.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Sebastian, we saw you a couple weeks in Vegas a couple weeks ago. And
Oh yeah?
my husband and I are literally you and your wife. So that was hilarious. So thank you guys for the advice. It means a lot.
Oh, no
You're
problem.
welcome. Good luck and congratulations.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited,
All right.
but thanks again.
Best of
Bye.
luck. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you don't. Bye-bye. You don't know what's ahead until it comes, and I think to have these discussions are very important.
It
being
is.
new parents.
You know, and a lot of people have birth plans. You hear about these, you know, their expectations. And it's nice to have sort of a plan that you're hoping for, but just understanding that if it doesn't go exactly the way it's planned, that's okay too. And being able to move in different directions.
Yeah, that's very, very important. Be able to pivot, which has been a huge word over the last 2.5 years during the pandemic. And I'm kind of sick of hearing it. How many people pivoted to another career?
Hello.
Hey,
What's going on, man?
not much. How you guys doing?
Good. Welcome to Daddy versus Doctor.
It's good to be here. My wife, it might kill me if here she is. She said that if I'm on the show without her and I explain everything, she's gonna kill me because I'll ruin it.
No, you know what we like is we like to have the couples on because we get two sides of the story and it makes for a good call. Once you get just one person's point of view, it kind of just, not to say it's boring, but it's nice to have the couple on. It stirs up a lot of emotion.
The right story and the wrong story, and we know who has the right story and who has the wrong story. Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Hey.
Yeah.
We're both Italian. There's no stirring the pot here. We never argue about anything.
I'm sure. So what brings you on the show?
So we have a 6-month-old daughter and we are first-time parents, but we're having trouble with sleep. We cannot get her to sleep through the night. And we have no idea if she's hungry. Is she just irritable? Is she sick? How are we to know?
So what happens right now is we put her to bed around 7 o'clock is when she goes down. Wakes up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, cries. We're not sure if she's hungry or not. So we've gotten into the habit. Well, Delana, my wife, has gotten into the habit of feeding her because we assume that she's hungry. But now we're thinking that she's eating during the night now because she also dream feeds her at 10 p.m. Right.
It's a lot of finger pointing here. A lot of finger pointing. Yeah, it was like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna lock these up over here. No more finger pointing.
So at 6 months,
Yeah.
right? If the child is crying, and if I can remember back, and I might be wrong here, at 6 months, isn't the kid supposed to be sleeping 7 to 7 without any feeding, or am I
close? 10 hours. So starting at 4 months, and I defer to your pediatrician to give the okay on this because obviously want to make sure the baby's gaining weight appropriately, feeding normally during the day. But if those are fine, typically starting at 4 months, any baby can sleep 10 hours through the night without any feeding and without being picked up. And the reason for this is that after 4 months, we know that any feedings in that 10-hour block are purely comfort, not hunger. And when you eliminate those feedings, even big bottles at that time, she won't drink 1 extra ounce during the day and she'll grow exactly the same. And number 2, developmentally, she can learn to self-soothe. This wouldn't work for a 2-month-old even if you wanted to, because if you let them cry, they don't understand why they're crying. You're supposed to fix the problem because they're learning the world's safe because you're bringing it to them. So at 4 months, what I typically do, 6 months, you can do it. You define your 10-hour block. So it's great. Your last feeding's at 7 o'clock. Her night is 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. If you have a 12-hour sleeper, you're lucky. You'd brag to your friends too. But we can make 10 if it's more bonus. So 7 to 5, there's 2 rules. 2 rules, no picking up, no feeding. Okay? You put her down. Any grunty, moany stuff in that 10 hours, you're not responding to. Full on screaming, I do a 5, 10, 15-minute method. So the first time she starts crying, midnight, you're going to wait 5 minutes. You're going to hold each other because it's going to feel like hours. And one of you is going to try to go in and fix the problem. 5 minutes. Yeah. You're going in, you're making sure she's okay. She's not hurt. She's not sick. She's not stuck. It's more for you than her. Mommy loves you. Daddy loves you. You can touch her. You're getting out of there. When you leave, she's probably still crying because you didn't do what she wanted. You didn't pick her up. You didn't feed her. Now you wait 10 minutes before you go in. Touch, talk, leave. She's still crying. 15 minutes before you go in. Touch, talk, leave. Every subsequent time you leave after that, 15 minutes before you go. So midnight may go 5, 10, 15, 15, 50. She cried for an hour, falls asleep. 3 in the morning, she wakes up again. 15, 15, 15, falls asleep. 5 a.m. or after she cries, you pick her up and feed her. She'll probably go back down for a couple hours, but it's fair to feed her. Now she's hungry. The second night, instead of 5, 10, 15, 15, I go to 10, 15, 20, 20, 20. 15, 20, 25, 25. Guys, the intervals don't matter. It's just easy to remember 5, 10, 15. I know you went right for a pen. Easy to remember 5, 10, 15. And as a parent, it's doable. It is not easy, but it's doable. And if you can get through the first 2 nights where she'll probably cry more than usual, the third night drops off precipitously. It's a little wah here or there. And then hopefully she's sleeping through the night. But if at any time you pick her up or feed her, all she learned is if I cry for X amount of time, I get that. That's going to fuel her still doing it.
That makes a lot of sense. Can I add one thing or ask one question? Would any of that advice change if she's underweight? Because she is, for her age, and correct me if I'm wrong, but for her age and height, she is a little bit underweight. Would that factor into
possibly
your advice at all?
But it's not her weight that matters as much as her trend. So it's talking to your pediatrician, and if she's had gradual normal trend in weight, the percentile itself tends not to matter as much unless we're way under. But that's why I defer to your pediatrician. I'd want to know we're gaining appropriate weight, we're developmentally appropriate to allow her to do this. And then it's not easy, but it's safe. The other 2 things I always bring up with families for safety after 4 months, where does she sleep?
In a crib.
Crib. So I like crib on her back, no swaddle, nothing impinging her movement. For safety reasons, we get rid of swaddles, we get rid of, bassinets and things, because at 4 months and after they want to start moving around.
Is it all right to have trinkets and toys in the crib? Because what we did with our kids, there was nothing in the crib. It was a sheet and a little
it's like baby jail.
Baby jail, little fishy thing above. There was no like rattle or nothing like that. Is that
so we recommend nothing in the crib because of the risk of SID, sudden infant death syndrome, in the first year of life. After year, throw in the whole kitchen sink, pillows, blankets, stuffed animals, things like that. But we really prefer nothing. Some people use sleep sacks, which as long as the arms are free, I don't have a problem with. Nothing that's weighted or like a straight jacket, because again, you want her free in case she does roll, things like that.
Interesting.
So, so hopefully that helps.
Listen, this is all great advice, but at night, everything is so much more difficult. Like we said, we are arguing, like we are mid-divorce every single night, because it's like, you get her, you do the pacifier, I'll do the pacifier. It's like constant insanity. So I'll just grab a and feed her and put her back to sleep.
And listen, that's absolutely fine, right? You can still feed her in the middle of the night, and you may choose this down the road. She may do it on her own. Sleep training is not for everybody. So you shouldn't argue over that. You decide if you don't want to do it, that's absolutely fine to feed her, and then down the road, make that decision. Funny story is my wife has heard me say exactly what I told you a million times. She could recite it by heart. So when her friends had their first baby, they would call her and she would tell them how to sleep train. Then we had our baby and she was like, 4 months, we're going to do this. Talking big game, big game, big game. 4 months came around. First night, my daughter Aubrey starts screaming. My wife, shooting me looks, says something, can't repeat, gets up. Whole day we fought the next day. I'm a horrible father, neglecting my daughter. I'm like, you just gave this advice to 5 friends. We ended up doing it the next night. She's been a great sleeper. So it's not easy. It's doable, but you don't have to do it.
Okay. Let me ask one more question, Doc. Is there a point that it comes to where it's too late to sleep train? Like, is there a point where we say it's not worth it anymore?
No, but I will tell you, the older they are, the harder it is. Because you think they're stubborn now. Think how stubborn a 1-year-old is when they're calling your name. And they're not crying, they're yelling, mama, mama, mama. I mean, it's heartbreaking, right? So it just gets harder because they don't give in to, oh, you're not coming? They're just like, F you, I'm going to keep crying. Yeah. So, see, I don't curse. It's nice.
No, I've been cursing on this podcast.
It's a child
it's like,
podcast.
yeah, it's a child. It's PG. We got wonderful parents here, and I'm throwing the F word around like it's going out of style. I feel
bad because I feel like this sleep training advice put you to sleep.
No,
that is basically maybe just at night read my book to your daughter. She'll probably just sleep through the night. Great.
That's perfect. So we'll do that.
Well, thanks for checking in with us, guys. We really do appreciate it.
Bye, guys. Good luck. Let us know.
Advice. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Get some rest.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, I couldn't chime in there at all because, I mean, you look like you had this thing on a
it's just we talk about it so
sheet,
much.
10, 15, 20. I'm sitting over here going, Jesus Christ. You're right. I was going to bed.
Did you end up sleep training the kids? I can't remember.
Well, this is what we did. All right. And this is, I know, not the norm.
Yeah.
Okay. We brought a woman in.
Oh, yeah.
Now, listen, for those people who don't know what's going on with the sleep, what do they call it? Night nanny?
Yeah, night nurse.
Night nurse.
Yeah.
We brought in a night nurse.
Yeah.
Right. And I was adamantly against this. I'm like, we ain't bringing in no night nurse. I didn't have a night nurse, and look at how good I am. So we brought a night nurse in. And I got to tell you, man, our kids have never gotten out of their bed.
Yeah.
Ever.
Best money ever spent.
It was the best money I've ever spent. This woman came at 7, left at 7. She was for 4 months, right?
Long time.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
But our kids never have got, and I had to tell our kids, I go, listen, if you are hurt or something happens, please come into our room.
No.
And they don't move. It's beautiful.
I mean, that's my future retirement plan. When the practice, I'm done with that, this thing fails. And then what I do is imagine if I told people, I'll come into your house for a weekend, you come back Sunday night, your child's sleeping through the night, you'll pay anything for that.
Oh, I know. It's just,
right? I could charge anything.
It was unbelievable.
Dr. Cohen's sleep machine.
Oh, what's going on? What are you going out tonight? Jesus.
I am out.
We haven't done one from like a discotheque.
Were you going to dinner tonight and you need parenting advice?
I was at the Copa for an event, and now I'm going to feed the homeless on 34th Street.
Oh,
because I do that every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock.
Oh, beautiful. Well, now that's you got a purpose. What's happening? What brings you on the show today?
Well, I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
I was hoping when you contacted me that it could open up for you, even if I just open a door. I just started doing stand up, sit down, lay down. But no, I love you. You are. Let me tell you, I just really started getting to comedians, like, who's funny, who's not, who thinks they are, who's funny looking, but you are the top of the top.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very sweet of you to say. I really do appreciate it.
Are you not driving, are you?
Are you driving?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, please be careful. At one point I saw both hands over your head, so I got, that bothered me. So please, just,
I didn't think you were even coming on. I said, it's a hoax. Is this like when I got Insta scammed? I don't know. But I'll wait. I was very patient.
It's like we're in an episode of Cash Cab.
So what's going on? What's the? Is there a question? Do you have kids?
Kids are probably as old as you. My oldest is 34. I don't know how that's possible when I'm only 42.
Yeah.
And then my daughter's 25 and my youngest is 22. But I still bribe them, to go anywhere and everywhere because, they go, when they're young, you have your kids 5 and 3, right?
Yeah. 5
They'll
and 3.
go everywhere. Wait until they're
Oh my goodness. Wait, keep this rolling.
Keep this on me.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
no.
Thank goodness.
Oh my God.
All right. All right. While you drive safely, we'll talk about bribing and children.
What?
But no, I'm gonna pull over. They're pulling somebody over, but I'm gonna pull over. Oh, look
okay,
at this.
well,
Okay, fine. I don't know.
What?
But anyway, Daddy, look at
That's
we're
it.
in the middle of a big bus now.
That's
Now I
it.
can't go nowhere.
That's
So I
it.
gotta pull over. That's it. Okay, interesting night.
Well, it is New York City, and crime is skyrocketing there. So it's nice to see it firsthand.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
Well, we're in Los Angeles. We're downtown Los Angeles right now. And it's interesting that we have a mother on the show that has grown kids. If you were to give our audience any advice about parenting, do you have some tips that you could share of how you did it or what you did that was great? Or
The children are spread out. I think having them spread out in age, I was able to give the attention to each one differently. And it was, it had its advantages. And I say, try everything with your kids. I made my kids do piano, karate, guitar, whatever, art. Let them try everything. If they don't like it, at least you guided them and you tried it. And if they didn't like it, they didn't like it. And, my kids, all of them modeled when they were young. And my oldest did some acting. And most of the times he didn't want to go on auditions, and I had to bribe him. I was one of those mothers. Yeah, bribing is good. It works. It works.
Well, that's good. It's good to hear from. We're primarily talking to parents who have kids under the age of 18, but it's nice to have somebody come on. That's okay. It's all right. You know what? This is the most interesting call we've had. We've never really had law enforcement be part of the segment, so it's nice to talk to someone who's in a halo of blue and yellow. Blue and yellow, blue and red. Wow, am I tired?
No, but we appreciate you being on our first episode of Cops. So thank you.
Yeah, what's your name?
Gigi, listen, laughter's the best medicine unless medicine's making you laugh. That's what I always say.
That's it.
All right,
that's
Gigi,
it.
You heard it from Gigi.
You heard it from right here from Gigi. Gigi, thanks for calling.
Drive
on.
safe,
Appreciate
please.
Go feed the homeless. God bless you.
I feel like she's gonna be taken away in handcuffs.
No, well, jeez, man, we never had a full blown mother who had grown kids on. I think she just thought this was a different show. Daddy versus Doctor.
Yeah, nothing to say.
Nothing. Yeah, well,
it's hard to make us speechless.
No, I didn't know where to go with that, but nice woman.
Very nice,
to say the least. I don't know. I can't even gather the words anymore.
Her best parenting advice, the funniest part, was have them far apart so you don't have to deal with more than one at a time. Phenomenal.
It sounded like there was multiple husbands.
I think she was trying her stand up on you.
Yeah, no, she was definitely trying out some bits.
Well, hi there, gentlemen. How are you?
Good to see you.
We're good. What do you got? What do you got going on over there besides amazing hair? Look at this.
Oh, wow.
We're doing a little. There's the fellas here. This is Logan. This is Carson right here.
What's up,
guys.
bro? How's it going?
Okay. So we're just having a hangout, There's Dana over there, and my wife.
Hey, how you doing? Listen. I gotta ask right off the bat. I gotta ask. Are you guys in the hat business?
Today was the one day that we both wore on the same day.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say the mom's got the hat, the son's got the hat, and we're rolling here. What's going on?
Point with the branding,
Yeah, no,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah. So we we're on just have a little hangout. I was in the waiting room here, and I'm like, well, you know what? Just thought we'd continue just chilling out until we got to start with you fine guys here. So
yeah. You got a question, or are we just gonna hang?
Dinner together.
It's Daddy versus Doctor. He's a doctor. I'm a comedian. You got like a question about why is my kid wearing a hat indoors, or what's the?
No, I've been looking forward to talking with you guys actually. So my sons are my life. I love being a father. Favorite thing that I do. And, with teenagers, just the thought being, right, when you're raising teenagers and all, you do your best to try to put yourself back where they were, right? You try to think, oh yeah, I went through that, or I did that thing, or oh gosh, and then the last 2 years happened, of course, and it was a little bit different, kind of a lot different for everybody than we've ever experienced before. So really the question that was going to throw me was, for parents, we can't really say, oh yeah, I was there and I experienced that, because what teenagers specifically have kind of lost these last few years is nothing like we've ever seen. So what does a parent do who has teenagers when you can't really say, I've been there? What's your advice for parents of teens to try to just be understanding that, man, this is crazy and none of us have ever seen this before, but you're going to be all right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's referring to the pandemic, and no one's ever been through a pandemic, a lockdown. So the kids are coming out of this, and they might have some issues related to being locked up or not being able to socialize with their friends. And as parents, you, like you're saying, you want to be able to relate to their situations. In this situation, you can't. Now, again, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor, but I think it's honest to just say, hey man, I haven't gone through what you just went through. I went through it with you. I not necessarily have any advice, but I could definitely be here as a sounding board if you have any issues or if you have any questions that I could maybe shed some light on. Because, I mean, you're not going to sit there and lie and say, oh, yeah, I remember the pandemic in the 60s. Wow. It's not really the case. So in this particular situation, I don't know. I mean, I have kids 5 and 3. They didn't know any different, pandemic or not, just because they were so young. But teenagers like yourself, definitely going to take an effect. And you got kids who.
Yeah, no, I have 2 teenagers myself, and I totally agree. I think just being there to support them and their needs is really the most important thing. Not that you have to share the exact same experiences, though in this case you actually did share the same experience, though you may come from it from 2 totally different places. And I think a lot has to do with the child and their needs, right? Some of the teenagers that we saw came out of it was the best 2.5 years of their life. Like, hey, I got to stay home, I got to do school on a computer, I got to play video games all day long. I can't think of anything better. And other kids were like, this was the worst 2.5 years. I couldn't go out and play with my friends and socialize and go to the movies. So everybody has a different perspective. So I think you're exactly, I mean, you should really go to become a therapist. I may start calling you. But yeah, being there to support them and what they need. Yeah.
So yeah.
You're going to forego the comedy career for a medical career?
Telling you, bro, I'm in the wrong business. I got to start some type of self-help seminar.
Well, to that point, I was going to say, Sebastian, you self-help, you were talking on the cast a few weeks ago about going on podcasts and not wearing light-colored T-shirts because of the sweat. So you're already helping some guy out here with that. So I appreciate it.
Wow.
Yeah, listen, I'm not only giving psychological advice, but I'm also giving wardrobe tips for podcasts. But in your situation here with the kids, and I really like what you said, he went through it with them, but maybe he could relate on an adult level saying, yeah, it was difficult for me because dad couldn't, work. I mean, I know I couldn't work, right? For 1.5 years. Right. And if my kids were old enough, I'd be able to share that experience with them saying, yeah, daddy's going through it too, because mommy continues to shop and I'm unemployed. So I didn't have anybody to talk to. So.
No, I know. But no, I really like that, because even though you come at it from different places, you can share with the same moans and groans of the situation and find solutions for it. And that's really the key. How can I support you? And what can we do to make things better? And it sounds like just the fact that you would come on and ask that question shows how much of a great support you want to be for your 2 kids.
I mean, kids are the best thing we got, right? I mean, that's what we're going to leave for the world when we're done. And I don't know. I'm a big fan of being a dad. They've been, at the top of my life through some of the toughest things in life. And I don't know. I hear people, this is what frustrates me. I hear people talk about their kids and how they complain about their kids and da da da. I don't understand that. I mean, we're what do you call it? A non-traditional family here, right? We're a blended family. So, I don't get to see the guys all the time anyway, but that's the one thing that blows my mind is parents that are like, oh, my kids are the best thing I've got. Like, I love being a dad. And so if nothing else, I just wanted to encourage other parents too. Like, look, we're all doing our best and just keep going. Right. I mean, isn't that?
And it shows in how you talk.
Leave their own legacy someday.
Yeah, listen, it's great to have you on because it's great for other parents to see the passion that you have towards your kids, and hopefully they'll adopt that moving forward with their own life. Because I agree with you, buddy. Some of these parents with the, oh, I hate my kids or I do this, I'm sitting there going, what kind of family do you got? Where you're like, I hate my kids are a burden or what have you. And even growing up, when I used to run into kids and they used to go, I hate my parents. I'm like, I love my parents. Like what kind of family life do you have where all this hate's being spewed? So good for you, man. We're going to use you as an example of a proud father. And not only that, we're going to actually take that ship wheel that you got to your left and show that as an amazing piece of art. Is that one of your kids? Did they knock that out, or did you buy that?
I would tell them they painted it. No, thrift store.
There you go.
Good for you, man.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
$5.
Thanks for coming on, brother. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you, gentlemen. Have a great night.
Hey,
you too.
The guy's just glowing.
The guy is radiating fatherhood.
Yeah.
Man. Now, I mean, if there's an example of a father who is proud and just wants the best for his kids, that's what you're supposed to look like.
100%.
When you talk about your kids, you're supposed to have an energy that is palpable. And I'm going to use that guy as an example for a father, and I don't know what's going on with the family, blended family or not, but the guy probably loves the wife's kids equally. I don't know what's going on with you, brother, but whatever you're doing, keep drinking it.
I may send him my kids, so it's all good. No, he's doing a great job.
No, he is. Absolutely.
And I love hearing his emotion, how much he cares. So,
weren't you doing yard work last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You came in with a towel. You were like wiping your head off. I remember you. What's going on? We got another issue.
Well, kind of an update, but still the same issue.
Oh, I love it.
So it turns out that Vincenzo did have fluid in his ears and a lot of scar tissue on his tonsils and adenoids. So last week he had to get his tonsils and adenoids removed and ear tubes. So he slept in our bed after surgery for a few days, and now we're back to square one. It just doesn't end. So I don't know. I know you gave us some suggestions last time, which we tried for a little bit. Well, Vin was sleeping on the couch basically for a week, and I was going up and down with him to get him back in his bed. And now I feel bad because he's still healing from surgery, even though he's doing better.
Yeah.
I don't know. And is there any guidance with like the tonsils? He's not snoring anymore, and maybe it will help him having sleep apnea, but
so
anything
after the kid has surgery, it's not like you're gonna.
No, I mean, I think right now he's healing. I wouldn't do any type of sleep training at all. It's just not fair. He could be uncomfortable. You should attend to him a little more than you would maybe normally do in a nighttime situation. I think is fair. And then obviously when everything is perfect, you go back to his normal routine. I mean, it's still fair to ask him to sleep in his own room. You could try to sit next to him. You could try to hold him. But I think if he wants a little more, this wouldn't be the time. If this is how he's been doing it up until this point, this wouldn't be the time to change it when he's coming out of surgery. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So
you're going to go upstairs and grab him now.
So tonight was the first night we were trying. That's why I've been running back and forth, because he went back to school actually today. Yeah. So he's been bartering with us all day about being in bed, not being in bed.
Yeah.
So like, when is he fully healed? So I don't have to worry about it, because then I do feel a little bit bad. But
I mean, you want to talk to the doctor about that. But tonsils, they can be in pain for a good couple weeks. So that's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
if he's,
how long does it take?
I mean, it can. My daughter had her tonsils out, and the first week definitely is rough. I mean, they're in a lot of pain. Their throat hurts. They don't want to eat, and so usually a good 2 weeks that they can be uncomfortable, and everybody's a little different.
I have a question, not necessarily for you guys, but around tonsils.
Yeah.
And I might sound completely ignorant.
Okay.
What the hell do tonsils do?
They're lymph structures, so they help. That we thought they didn't do anything, and that's why they just removed them. They do help with your immune response. So like your immune cells go there. That's what lymph tissue does. Indications to take out tonsils or adenoids, there's really two: recurrent infection. So somebody who gets recurrent strep throats, that was my daughter. She had like 8 in 1 year. Or obstructive sleep apnea. So not just noisy breathing, but the kids, you're like stopping breathing at night. And that can be due to large tonsils, large adenoids, or both. And that's when they talk about removing them. And then tubes happen for recurrent fluid in the air, usually from recurrent infections that aren't the fluid isn't fully going away, and that can affect hearing. So they put tubes in. So he got the whole kit and caboodle, which honestly.
And adenoids, what do they do?
What's
what
that?
How does adenoids
Similar idea.
adenoid.
All in the same family.
Yeah.
So the good news is it could help him sleep. You'll probably notice he doesn't seem as sick this winter because kids with large adenoids and tonsils and fluid in there, every time they get a cold, everything just sits there longer, cough, congestion. So hopefully this will be a good winter for you guys. Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen a snot coming out of his nose in a week, so that's pretty good.
That's
Yeah,
good,
so
right?
This is working.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And look, there's
Been
no
like
harm in trying, but I
6
think
months.
giving me a little extra comfort while he's recovering is a fair thing. Be mean to your husband,
So
not your
now
son.
have we been
Oh, me? No.
have we been bad parents this whole time trying to sleep train maybe somebody that had all these
No,
issues?
you're not bad
'Cause now
parents. I
feel
just
really
if,
bad.
if he wants a little more comfort because he could be in pain, fix the pain.
No, she's saying
like
before this.
this whole
No,
time.
before they were
because-
trying to
Oh.
they were trying to do this,
Before
but he
he
had the issue
realized,
with the
yeah.
tonsils.
No, because if he wasn't sick at that time, no, there wasn't a reason at that time. No, you're great. Don't worry.
The fact
So
that
we're
you
going on 6 years old. What's the over under? How old would he be before sleeping in his own bed? Have you
Before
found out
15,
the
I told
What do you think?
I say if we continue to talk to you guys throughout the course of this podcast, I'm putting my money on 7.5.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say 17.
7.5. I give a kid 1 year.
Sooner, much sooner.
He says sooner.
Sooner. I'm
So,
coming
like,
over
7
later.
and a quarter?
I'll take care of it. Thank you guys for
Thanks
coming
for
on
calling on,
again.
man.
Thanks for the update. We love updates.
Love
That's great.
updates. Keep us updated.
We'll be in touch. Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
guys.
You got
Bye.
it. That's our first update.
Yeah, that was good.
That was nice to have an update on what I had to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, I remembered the sleep issue, but I didn't recall the other stuff.
Yeah.
So
the ear and the tonsils.
wow.
Are you a songwriter? Jeez, you look like you're in the music business.
It's just me. I'm in the rah-rah business, Sebastian. So nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for being on the show. And also, with the first caller that's had ambient lighting in the background.
Changing. Blue, red.
And with sunglasses. I mean,
This
gee,
is
I feel
amazing.
like I'm
feel
talking
way
to
underdressed for this meeting.
Pat
You
Bennett
know,
time.
I'm from New York, and this is me.
Good
Love
for
it.
you. Good for
Love
you.
it.
What brings you on the show?
We're both from Long Island.
You're from Long Island?
Yes.
I'm from Chicago. What do you
I
got?
wanted to see if we had something else in common. Sorry.
What's up? What brings you on the show today?
Well, I answered your question about children, and I was the one who sent in the pictures of the birthday cake.
Oh, okay. So you're making birthday cakes?
No, I answered the question about when you were. I watch you every day, by the way.
Oh.
So I watch you every day, and everyone in my life knows that I watch you and listen to you every day. And the other day, when you said I could call in and be on and we could send in a message about the Daddy Doctor show, and you said it could be anything about a child with acne or anything about a child. I have a 42-year-old child, and I thought, how could I write to you without destroying my relationship with my daughter? So I have a problem. I didn't want to burn a bridge, right? So I wrote to you about the problem I have with the birthday cakes. My daughter is an only child. She has 6 children. And every time there's a birthday, we bring the birthday cake. And I sent you pictures of these elaborate cakes that we get from bakers from all over. And every time we show up the cake, my amazing, awesome daughter says, I really don't like that cake. It doesn't matter what cake we bring. We really don't. It could be ice cream. It could be a chef from Paris. It could be from the supermarket. I sent you a picture of all those cakes. Ma, she goes, I really don't like the cake. It's really not good. I have cupcakes made. I try to think of alternatives. Unicorn cupcakes, custom made, $100 cupcakes. Ma, they're really not good. Now it's an ongoing story. I said, honey, no matter what I buy, and I buy all the birthday cakes, there are 6 kids and a mother and a father, 8 cakes a year. You don't like any cake.
So
she said, I don't think you buy good cakes, Mom.
I
don't know what this is.
What's the issue? I mean, like, is she buying a birthday cake as well and eating that, or what? I just don't understand when somebody brings a birthday cake over for somebody's birthday, right?
But you just say thank you and eat it.
That's it. I mean, I've never went, what the fuck is this? I ain't eating this. I mean, I don't know. I think you gotta sit your daughter down and say, listen, I'm going through a lot with these birthday cakes. And it's just not, you got 6 grandkids. And what?
I have 7 and 6 with our house. Yeah.
Does she tell you what she actually wants?
Yeah, we get what they want. We ask our grandchildren, what cake do you want? I want an ice cream cake. That one, they're really not, you can't really criticize the ice cream cake too much, but not everybody wants an ice cream cake. Sometimes they want red velvet.
So you're making to order and there's still an issue.
We buy them. I don't bake. I do everything but bake. And I'll say to her, I'm going to have it custom made by the chef and she's like, they're not good, Ma. So one year she made a cake for my husband and I didn't send you that. And she baked a little cake. You love whatever your kids do for you. But it was a cake with some sprinkles. And I said to my husband, we buy $100 cakes. 8 of them. Grandkids and my daughter made this cake and we love it and we ate it. But it was like this. Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It was a gorgeous, beautiful cake and we loved it. But it was it was homemade. And so when we were looking at, we loved that it was done like that. But we went through so much trouble. If I had baked a cake, maybe it would have been better because I baked it and that would have been as my skill set and everybody would have just loved it. Maybe I should have just, opened a box of something and put some icing on it. I don't know the solution.
Yeah, I don't know what to do here. I mean, you know what I would try? This is what I would do.
What?
Let's not bring a cake next time. And then see the reaction. You come to the party, no cake, and then she's going to go, where's the cake? And then you're going to go, you don't like them. Right?
I'm going to look. So Sebastian, I'm going to watch the face of my little grandchildren when I walk in the door and they're going to say, Rara, where's the cake?
And then you're going to go, talk to your mother. She don't like the cakes I bring. And you're off the hook. And by the way, let me also, off topic here, you have one of the best lighting systems I've ever seen. Not even behind you, just the front light and the camera. What is that? A 4K? Isn't the quality amazing?
Can we get in your studio to film next time?
We've been talking to people in their basements in the dark, and here you are radiating off the screen.
It's unbelievable.
It's almost like the father we had on, who was radiating about his sons. Okay, this is it. No cake.
Yeah.
No cake. We're done with the cakes. Right. Put an end to that. Grandma shows up, and that's that. That's all I got on that.
Yeah.
Listen,
sounds good.
We appreciate you calling in. Tell your daughter we said hello, And it was a pleasure meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure meeting both of you. Thank you so much. I
welcome.
really
got it.
appreciate it.
Take
All
care.
right, ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
I think there may be is there a bigger issue here? It has nothing to do with the cakes? That she just wants something else from her mom. Grandma's focused on making cakes, and mom just maybe wants grandma. I don't know. But it just seemed.
Yeah, I don't know.
All my years of medical school and training, I wasn't. This wasn't in my medical books. The cake.
Or she's only showing up for the birthdays, and we don't see grandma the rest of the year.
I feel like there's something else, because why would somebody be so angry on a made-to-order cake? Like, I want you to make him ice cream cake, and I show up and that cake sucks.
I don't know. We're not hearing the other side of the story. Maybe the daughter said, listen, when my mother was growing up, we didn't ever have a birthday cake, and all of a sudden she's coming with all these cakes. Screw you, Ma. I don't know.
It's beyond my pediatric training. Talk about stump Dr. Cohen. She got me. I'm out.
Unbelievable lighting, by the way.
Yes.
Listen, guys, you want to be a part of that? You are grandma, and you're making cakes, and you want to talk to us? daddyversusdoctor@gmail.com. Send in your issues, your videos, your pictures of cakes that you're never going to see because we didn't see them. Go to daddyversusdoctor.com for all your Daddy versus Doctor needs. This is Sebastian Maniscalco along with pediatrician Dr. Scott Cohen. See you next time. And then put a cake right at the end of that episode.
The opinions expressed in this program are not intended as professional medical advice, as a diagnosis, as a treatment protocol, or as a substitute for professional medical advice from your physician. Please consider your own medical history and consult with your own physician for your specific healthcare and/or medical needs and about your concerns for yourself and your family.